Afternoon from South Bend as we get set to kick off the final week of the ACC men's soccer season. A huge game as Notre Dame hosts Virginia Tech. Both these teams are battling in the North region standings, folks, and they need wins to get in that top four and secure their spot. Alongside Charlie Davies, I am Dallin Cuff. It is a beautiful day here in Touchdown Jesus and all his glory in South Bend. And both these teams are coming off of outstanding wins, Charlie. Let's start with Notre Dame. Taking on UVA. They were down 1-0 in this game. They came down back to tie it at 1. This is in extra time, overtime. A credit is an own goal. Aiden McFadden was in the mix. The final is 2-1. They'll take all 3 points from the defending national runners-up. And then Friday night, Louisville is where Virginia Tech is, and that's in the top right corner. Jacob Lobovitz in overtime as well. They celebrate. Melee on the sidelines. 3 points for them as well. They leapfrogged Louisville with that win to put them into 4th. And again, the top 4 in the North play the top 4 in the South in the ACC tournament coming up here in just a couple weeks. So this game, but the 3rd and 4th place teams are so critical. And Charlie, we got really good goal scorers in this game. Let's start with Jack Lynn for Notre Dame. What does he have to do today, for them to be successful?
Will continue to be dangerous in the attacking third. We've seen him score spectacular goals last season, but where Chad Riley says he's improved is his hold-up play. He's able to bring players into the attack, and he's up there as one of the best strikers in college soccer. That's what Chad Riley firmly believes with all his experience in the game. He thinks this guy has something special.
And on the other side, Christo Strickler, second team All-ACC last year. He scored a boatload of goals. He's playing a little bit more into the midfield now. What is his role within this Virginia Tech crew?
Well, he's a complete player. He's been called up to the full men's national team for the Philippines. He's strong, good first touch. He's got that great presence and awareness in that attacking half, and he's the best finisher for Virginia Tech.
Strickler, Lynn, and other talented players. We'll show you them in the starting 11s here when we come back, but this game is critical. You saw the standings. Both teams need the points. We'll have the starting 11s and kickoff coming your way after this break on ACCN. Welcome back to South Bend, the iconic Golden Dome here on the campus of Notre Dame, and let's get you the starting 11s alongside Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cuff and Chad Riley. Now on the 4-3-3 they've played this year. We told you about Jack Lynn, but Aiden McFadden on that right wing is going to be dynamic in this game, Chuck.
He adds creativity, comfortable in possession, can find the gaps between the lines, and he always looks to play progressive.
And on the other side, for Mike Brizendine and his Hokies, they are 4-1-4-1. Jacob Lobovitz at the top of the spear here, scored the brace in last game against UVA, against Louisville to give them the win. But Daniel Pereira, the guy you've locked in the midfield, why?
Covers a ton of distance, leads the team in shots. He's a special player, two-way player, one of the more talented midfielders in the ACC.
And the players just got up from their knee that they are recognizing, taking the knee prior to the whistle, and we are underway here in South Bend. Notre Dame in their white uniforms, Virginia Tech in the black and red. Mayola Kinua on the ball, the transfer from App State, playing that holding midfielder role, knocks it back to Nathan Durst. Durst looking long, will flick on header. Able to get over there in time as Philip Quinton to clear that out. Callum Radisov is the official in the middle.
And Dallin, you get a good sense of how Virginia Tech play early on. It's like they have a block of 5, a big gap, and then another block of 5. So they attack with 5 and they defend with 5. Kinua has got to be very, very smart in his positioning to win those second balls, to be an option to connect the defense, the back line to the attackers.
There's the aforementioned Daniel Pereira dropping in to connect things. He is one of the ACC all-freshman team last year, played up forward to Cameron Lennon. Lennon crowded out a bit by McFadden, and now Jack Lynn on the ball. Back to McFadden, the senior stepping forward, trying to connect. Pass did not come off as he would have liked to Patrick Coleman. So Chuck, both these teams know how important this game is for them. What are you looking for early in this match? You just mentioned some stuff about Virginia Tech connecting and how they're lined up, but what are you focused on from a Notre Dame perspective?
Notre Dame, they're planning to play compact, organized. they're very tough to break down because they get numbers behind the ball. But as we saw last season and at times this season, you playing that long ball in behind Philip Quinton, that's where you hurt them. If you can get them higher up the field and then look to play those balls directly in behind, that's where they struggle. So if you allow Notre Dame to sit back and get comfortable and play in front of you, then you're going to have a long day. But if you can hit them into transition, when the midfielders get on the ball, have runners in behind, that's when you're going to create opportunities.
And this is Notre Dame team coming off that come-from-behind win against UVA. Virginia Tech coming off the overtime win on the road to Louisville. They did not go home, Charlie. They traveled Thursday to Louisville. They trained again in Louisville on Saturday after the win. They came up to Notre Dame yesterday, trained, and here we are Monday at 1 o'clock Eastern time for the kickoff. In this environment right now, I mean, how difficult is that for a player? A 5-day road trip, 2 games in 3 days?
It's difficult, but it's a lot more difficult as you get older. So for a lot of these college players, I think this year is just all in all is very difficult because it's so different than anything they've ever dealt with. But they've really shown resilience, and Notre Dame will tell you, Virginia Tech will tell you, these kids have really shown dedication to the sport. They're making sure that they're focused, they're staying safe, they're able to come out here and enjoy the sport that they've always loved.
Every coach will tell you the amount of sacrifice these players have made to have this happen. And they might have an opportunity here at Notre Dame, but just goes out of play. And Chad Riley echoed the same sentiments, the Notre Dame coach, as did Mike Brizendine for Virginia Tech. But Chad Riley, happy to have the opportunity to play and have things to look forward to. The administration he was thankful for in his 3rd season here at Notre Dame. Former player here. He was an all-Big East player for 3 years back in the early aughts when they were a Big East team. He coached here as an assistant from 2006 to 2011. Went over to Dartmouth in the Ivy League, won a bunch of Ivy League titles. He was there for 4 years. Now he came back to his alma mater and trying to lead them back to the NCAA tournament in the spring, but trying to compete for this ACC tournament here now in the fall.
And what a pleasant coach to speak with, Dallin. He's a top pro. I love having conversations with him. He tells you how it is. He's also one of those coaches you want to play for. He's very complimentary, but he also pushes you, and he understands, okay, for you guys in college, this is a high level, but in order for you to make that jump, you have to take it up whole nother notch. And so giving them the insight, what it takes to make that jump. You see Jack Lynn being a little bit better when it comes to holding up the ball, connecting the players, being more that creative playmaker. He's showing signs that he can be that guy.
Chad Riley, one of the many great coaches here in the ACC. It is the best conference in college soccer year in and year out. Have the opportunity to play these games in the fall. Every coach has said it's going to be very beneficial for their team's development to play in the fall and then again in the spring when you compete again to be part of the NCAA tournament and against other great ACC teams in that process.
This is how it should be every year, Dallin. A fall and a spring schedule. For these players to really get the development they need to make that jump to Major League Soccer or to European top leagues, you need to be constantly playing, constantly challenged. And for a lot of these players, yes, it's tough, no fans, not being able to socialize. You're in college, that's where you really develop all of those skills off the pitch. But with that being said, on the pitch, now they're getting 2 seasons, a fall and a spring, to continue to work on their game, which I love.
Intercepted by Muhammad Omar. Head up as Lynn. He tries to take a shot, deflected. And Pereira will coolly play it back to Sievert Haugley, and he pops it out to Kyle McDowell. Used to be Cameron Leonard. On that note, Chuck, playing in fall and spring, Mike Brizendine, the coach of Virginia Tech, has been a huge advocate for what is called the 21st century model. And we're supposed to vote on this, folks, last April, which would have created the soccer season in college to be standardized to a fall and a spring season, culminating in a spring championship, and allowing people to do exactly what you just said, Charlie, play more, train more, be more competitive as it relates to the pro game. COVID happened. They didn't have a chance to vote on that. But the fallout is essentially we're having a test run right now here in the ACC.
Exactly. And you have to be, I think for all coaches across the sport, you have to be pleased with what you've seen, not only the quality, but the dedication from these kids to show we'll sacrifice whatever it takes so we can get on the field and play.
Ball played over to Philip Quinton. junior from Portland, has his head up. He's passing to the feet of Ben Jacobello. And we mentioned Mike Brizendine, the coach, the coach for Virginia Tech in his 12th season there. He's really turned this Hokie program into something impressive. They've gone to the tournament for the fourth straight tournament last year. That's a program record. He's got 82 wins at Virginia Tech in his 12 years. Outstanding what he's helped build there. In 2016, they went to the Elite Eight. Had some great teams as they have built this into quite a program.
Full credit to him. You know, recruiting the right kind of players to come in and make a difference. Daniel Pereira is a diamond in the rough, because there weren't too many people talking about Daniel Pereira. What I saw from him last year is a player who's always looking to get involved and have an impact, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball or in the attacking game. He's really great at timing his runs. He makes tough tackles, and then he also gets on the end of crosses.
There's the aforementioned Pereira, the sophomore from Roanoke. He's a Class 3 state player of the year. Get him to stay in state, and he's been outstanding, as you mentioned, as part of the all-freshman team last year. And kind of the first time the Hokies are in somewhat of the attacking third here, as they'll have a throw in. Looks like they're lining up for a long throw. Got a center back forward, and Sievert Haugli. 3 is right there on the edge of the 6-yard box. Christo Strickler with the armband and Jacob Labovitz. But they play it short to Nick Blacklock.
Notre Dame as well had that long throw with Reese Mayer. That's how they were able to get the game winner against UVA.
McDowell with the throw. Headed down. Not out of the area, though. Finally cleared. Blumler just pops it up. Up to Lennon, took control. Yeah. Pereira pings it out wide to Blumler. Blumler on the overlap now. Played in. Nicely read by Quinton as Labovitz was lurking there.
You don't want to get into a game where you're just serving balls in the box for Philip Quinton, who's 6'5", just to eat them all up.
Yeah, this Notre Dame team is a bigger team. The majority of their guys starting are over 6 foot. Pressure by Labovitz. Abdelnadi almost turns it over, but he's able to turn out of trouble and get it back to the goalkeeper, Keegan McLaughlin, making his 9th start of his career, McLaughlin. Already in 8 starts, he's got 5 shutouts, Chuck. It's a pretty solid ratio there for the senior, finally getting some time here in Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'd say that's not bad. And Chad Riley talked about him finally feeling comfortable. I think, you know, having those nerves, being you know, the backup for so many years and finally getting your chance, you get a little nervous. Now it seems like he's coming into his own, he's commanding his box, and he's organizing the back line.
He replaced Duncan Turnbull, who the 6'7" Turnbull used to be quite a presence in there in that 6-yard box for the Irish. But McLaughlin deputizing, showing that he's a leader in his own right. Abdelnadi. Mohamed Omar, the sophomore, drops in to take possession. Lynn's able to pick up the loose ball, keep it in their attacking third.
And this is the game where we need to see Notre Dame really improve the possession. Being able to break down a team in a low block. And that's where Notre Dame had struggled because they didn't have so many creative players. Aiden McFadden has taken it upon himself to try and get involved, get in the middle of the field combined, and open up the game for Notre Dame.
And Chad Riley said, in this match in particular, we've got to be a little more patient. You saw Quinton try to force the ball in the cross there. Be more patient, try to be comfortable in possession, and try to break them down. As you mentioned, it's not something they've historically done very well, but he wants them to have a little more patience in that when they do have possession. Pinged out wide, Patrick Coleman. Omar, the Toronto native.
I'm excited to watch Omar today, Dallin, because we saw at times throughout last year, he was brilliant. But then there were times where he took too much time on the ball and he gave up costly possession for the other team to really hurt them on the counter or just the transition play. So if he can now continue to move the ball quickly and get it off his feet quickly, but still be involved and get a lot of touches, that's where you're going to see him continue to make steps towards becoming a professional.
He's part of that Canada youth national team setup right now. He's training with the U20 team, and Canada is emerging as a potential power in the CONCACAF region here. Guys like Alphonso Davies, one of the best outside backs in the world right now, playing for Bayern Munich, and a bunch of other talented players coming up in that Canadian system.
That's for sure.
Lynn might have a chance here, stepping forward, shot, save, still a rebound, still live. Durst got over just in time to break it up as Lynn was possibly going to put home that rebound, but the pressure's not off. Jacobello serves it in, header! Wide. McFadden, great opportunity.
Jack Lynn, of course, he gets on the ball. Aiden McFadden finds him. He takes a good touch with the knee and then just tries to drive it low. That's what you want to do against a 6'4" Swaneveld, who does a good job of parrying it wide and not giving up a rebound in front of his goal. Then the cross comes in. Aiden McFadden reads it, but there's a deflection, it looks like, and he's calling for the corner. He didn't get it. But that's what you want to see from this Notre Dame team. Attack in different ways. They go down the middle with Jack Lynn, and then they also come through the wide areas and find that cross in the box for Aiden McFadden.
Big time save there by Matthias Swaneveld, the junior. He'd started every game in his career, freshman and sophomore year. It was a rock back there for them, but went through an injury early in this year. This is only his third game back now. He's getting fully healthy. That was a huge save now. Quickly down to his left. As you mentioned, 6'5" from the Netherlands. To get down there quickly to his side was impressive, to say the least. A huge save for Swaneveld.
You always want to shoot low for these big keepers, but the ones that usually have all the potential to make that jump to the professional game are the ones that can get down quick. And not only did he get down quick, but he was also able to parry it wide, where some keepers cough up that rebound right in front for an on-rushing attacker just to knock it home. That's good from Aiden McFadden.
Abelnati stepping into space, center back. Patty Burns, the freshman, crowded out, turned it over.
Dallin, it's interesting, both teams aren't pressing high. I was expecting to see Notre Dame at home push the lines a little bit higher, have Jack Lynn, Aiden McFadden lead the press, Patrick Coleman, but that's not the case today.
An opportunity potentially here. I want to come back to your point in a second there, Chuck, but McDowell stepping under the 18 here. Maybe get a cross in. He gets deflected out. And McDowell, the junior from West Sussex, England. Was at Ottawa University for 2 years, transferred into Virginia Tech. This is his 5th start of the season and their 5th match of the season. Pereira to take the corner. Kanua comes short. In swinging ball, handled but still live. McLaughlin got a paw on it. Out for another corner.
The ball's whipped in, and that's not what you want to see from your goalkeeper. Him taking a swipe at it and it just going by him. That's got to be firmly punched out.
Pereira again. This is an outswinging ball. Bobovitz was there, but Strickler went for the header first. Couldn't the Irish counter. Jacobello on it, laying it off McFadden in stride. He's got options to the left, and he's going to find Coleman. Headed down, back to Coleman. He's going to play to McFadden. He's around the doorstep. Oh, he missed it!
He can't believe it. I don't think any of the Notre Dame players can believe it. It was creative football, combination play. Patrick Coleman in behind, lays it sweetly across the 6-yard box. And Aiden McFadden opened up the hips to go back to the far post and just miscalculated it.
And McFadden, the senior, not going to like that one. He's got 3 assists on the year, no goals. All his assists are off corner kicks. He's been hooking guys up, but there he was in prime real estate. A sitter that from Wondolowski range there, Chuck.
That's even closer than Wando. That is even closer than Wando. I mean, now it's important to see what his character is, right? Can you bounce back? Don't let this put you in a hole. Continue to get involved, have those touches in the game. We've seen him. He's creative. He's getting on the ball. He looks good. Don't go into a shell. Keep finding moments where you can make an impact.
Townsend Meyer getting forward from his right back spot. McFadden back on the rock. Spinning in some trouble. Charlie, earlier you were talking about nobody's pressing in this game. I mean, but Louisville makes me. Virginia Tech just played at Louisville on Friday. Notre Dame hasn't played since October 24th. They've had over a week off. Are you at all surprised that they're not trying to be the aggressors and make Tech work a little bit more?
I am a little bit surprised, but Virginia Tech are in a low block. They're inviting Notre Dame into their half. And maybe that's the tactics Mike Brizendine wanted. He wants to bring Notre Dame higher up the field so there's more space in behind for Labovitz, for Pereira to make runs. Because Christo Strickler is a player who can play those balls, who you know you can depend on to execute. I don't think we're going to see Virginia Tech sitting for the entirety of this match. I think they're going to find a balance. Right now they're fine with sitting in, getting into the game, and then they're going to start pressing as the game goes on.
Omar able to step forward with the ball, but it's going to go out for a Hokies throw. Blacklock pops it up. Labovitz shielding off Abdelnadi. First out to Pereira. Spins into McFadden and he turns it over. Can Notre Dame counter again? Jacobello, Omar. Burns.
I can't tell you how much better this looks from last year down Notre Dame. They look smooth. They're moving it side to side. This was not the case last season.
Matthew Radavoisa wasn't here last year. Freshman from Ontario, part of the Toronto FC Academy. Played in their U19 team as well. Part of that Canadian youth setup as he draws the foul.
And Radavoisa good on the turn, keeps the close control. And it was getting physical in there, using his body well. That's impressive from the youngster.
Right call. Virginia Tech was upset. Was that a foul?
It looked like not on the last tackle, but before that tackle, there was a foul.
Callan Radosov has some words right now for. See, they've scored 4 of their 5 goals on set pieces. And McFadden has all 3 of his assists. He's over the ball, arm in the air. Curls it in. Headed out by Howley. Abdelnadi tried to play across him, but was batted down. Coleman dispossessed. Voisa just pushed Pereira off the ball, and then Pereira fouled him.
That's the second time Pereira's been caught in possession too slow. He's taking too much time on the ball.
Oh, Kanua's about to get a yellow card unearned right there. He's standing in the way, obstructing play restarting. As you take a look at the tussle between Voisa and Pereira. Agree with the foul there on Pereira, Chuck?
Oh, yes. Voisa read it well. Got his body in front of Pereira. Pereira brings him down. And then Kanua blocking the set piece. It's a yellow card.
And Mike Brisendine's got a yellow for his efforts.
Chad Riley likened Daniel Pereira to a Darlington Nagbe, who is arguably the best dribbler in Major League Soccer. So if you know that going into this match, as Daniel Pereira, you can't take time on the ball. It's got to be quick.
That was quick by Pereira. Played it forward to Strickland. So now Kanua on the ball there has a yellow card. He is their central defensive midfielder, kind of stands and takes care of that back line in front of the two center backs. See if that comes back to be a problem. Lynn lays it off for Coleman.
And there's Pereira, gets picked off again. You have 3-4 players around surrounding Pereira. They're not going to let him make the game. So that if you're Pereira, how else can you impact the game? Make runs into space. Drag 2 or 3 Notre Dame players to create space for others. That's how you can have a massive impact in this match.
Meyer plays it forward. Jacobello's going to get there. Meyer tried to play across. Crossing to the bottom of the hour here alongside Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cuff at Alumni Stadium on the campus of Notre Dame. Virginia Tech looking for their second win in just 3 days. They took down Louisville on Friday night in Louisville. Ball thrown in. Jack Lynn lays it off. Notre Dame coming off a win against UVA. This is a big battle in the North region of the ACC men's soccer standings. Opportunity here. McFadden, he's offside though. And the senior Aid McFadden had a sitter, for those of us who are tuning in, that he did not put in, so that's why we're still tied up at 0 here.
The ball pops out. Aid McFadden, he's cheating. Just a couple steps in behind Haugley. It's off. They got it right. And he rushed the shot. He had to let it drop just a second longer.
Patty Burns on the ball. Opportunities here. A lot of white jerseys getting forward, but Haugley read it well, came across. And great work. Keeps it in play, too. Ball goes out. Quick time to tell you about men's soccer coming your way on Friday. Huge game, rivalry game. Carolina and Duke in Chapel Hill. The final match for both teams for the ACC tournament. This is the final week of the ACC men's regular season. That's 8 o'clock right here on ESPN, on ACCN and the ESPN app. Those two teams met in the season opener for North Carolina. They took down their rival 2-0 on Duke's field. We'll see who can return the favor. Both those teams are jockeying in the South region standings right now in 3rd and 4th. See some subs here. You see Khalil Dover on the left side of your screen, 14, new center forward, new striker for the Virginia Tech on the ball there. Replaced Jacob Labovitz. He is a sophomore from Reston, Virginia. Also, number 23, number 20, excuse me, Landon Amaris, a freshman from Palmetto, Florida. Atlanta United Academy product checked in for Cameron Lennon on the left wing. Dover getting forward, finding Strickler. Howley, the center back, first time crossing into the Notre Dame half of the field. Blumler, Pereira. Will this pass get there? It does to McDowell. There's Amaris, the freshman. Got an assist in the game against Syracuse. There was a 1-1 draw for Virginia Tech. Syracuse has been eliminated from playoff contention. They are currently in 6th. That is last in the ACC's North region. And that is Dover. He opened his career scoring account against UVA, their rival, which ended up being a 1-1 draw. He scored the only goal for the Hokies in that game, where they honestly outplayed UVA. They just could not capitalize from some of their chances to get the W. Jacobello's pass picked off by Amaris. Strickler trying to run onto it. It deflects, and Abdelnadi will win the foot race.
But this is where Virginia Tech can have success, getting into those channels. We haven't seen it too often because they're defending in a low block. When they do win possession, now they have to get through 1 or 2 lines of Notre Dame players. If they can be a little bit more aggressive, these opportunities are going to open up for them.
Pereira whips it across. Sent out by Quentin. A bit of a miss kick there by Quentin. It'll go out for a corner, a throw for the Hokies. Hokies yet to put a shot on goal, have not really threatened yet in this match.
We've rarely talked about Christo Strickler, and this is who you want the ball at his feet. What he can do, he can break down teams, he can hold up the ball, he's strong, but he also can finish.
Jack Lynn stepping forward, ball pinged out there to Pellegrino. Coleman, excuse me. He's trying to get in line. Plays it in, got a cross off. He was looking for McFadden, but read well by Durst, but not cleared out. Oh, miss kick. Howley was there to clean it up. Good step by, ooh, picked off. Radosov. Radovoisa, excuse me. So Chuck, we talked about this being a big game in the standings here. 3rd and 4th right now. Again, folks, the top 4 make it into the ACC tournament. Now, Pitt had to cancel the rest of their regular season, so they're going into the books with 4 games played and 12 points. Notre Dame's only going to have 5 league games. They have 1 more match after this. Virginia Tech will get to their 6th game. They're not going to have any makeups for that. It's just how it is, how it is. Top 4 are going to get in right now. Notre Dame in a good position. If they win both, they could technically tie Pitt atop the table, which is important for the standings. Louisville's there at 5th. Chuck, do you think this will end up being the top 4 that actually get in, or does Louisville still have a shot, you think, to sneak past Tech if Tech gets knocked off today?
No, I think that's the top 4. We spoke to Louisville and John Michael Hayden. They're just a really young team. They use this fall to give them experience going forward.
UVA, George Gelnovatch's crew has lost a lot of talented players. They still got a lot of talent, folks, but it's very inexperienced right now. They're trying to learn a little bit, and it's a little more of a rebuild than a reload from a program as successful as they have been. Strickler making the run into the channel. Didn't play him. But Blacklock still maintains possession. Poor pass, scooped up by Jacobello. Tech pressing a bit now. Well done by Coleman to draw the foul and maintain possession. Cold day out there, 43 degrees, but sunny. Mike Brizendine did say he was worried about the weather, but the sun is okay. But the weather when they were coming up on the weekend was quite different.
Yeah, I don't miss these days.
Not exactly optimal. At least it's not raining at 40. I mean, that's better.
Yes. There you go.
Yes. It's all about positivity, huh?
Yes. At least it's not snowing and in the 20s, right?
Couple subs now. Michael Pellegrino stepping onto the pitch, the Union Academy product. Played also for Bethlehem Steel, their USL squad. And Kyle Stenzel, a freshman, redshirt freshman from Staunton, Virginia. He's going to check in the match. Getting his second appearance of the season. He came in on the right wing for Nick Blacklock.
Who's also a Union Academy product.
Truth. Maris. Stenzel's first touch. Maris trying to step by McFadden. Excuse me, by Meyer. Meyer and McFadden, they're working in tandem on the defensive side. McDowell winding up a long throw. See Howgley, the big center back with the armband, just comes forward. Ooh, an opportunity as Stenzel came flying in, but just couldn't quite get it on frame.
The long throw from Kyle McDowell, and Stenzel does a good job of being unmarked, getting into that spot, but just couldn't keep his header down.
Omar's pass didn't come off the way he wanted, couldn't hit Meyer, turned it over. Virginia Tech definitely pressing a little higher now, putting a little pressure on Notre Dame coming out of the back. Sievert Haugley from Norway. Played every game in 2018. 19 every but 2, dealing with some injuries. Up to Amaris. Laid off for McDowell, first time cross. And ACC field hockey tournament will be next week from North Carolina's Karen Shelton Stadium. Great Karen Shelton, but they're the 2 seed, folks. Louisville in at the 1 seed, but the quarterfinals start Thursday at 2, 4:30, and 7 Eastern. Semifinals Friday at 1:30, 4 and 4. The championship is Sunday at noon. All matches right here on ACCN and ESPN. That's a pretty shocker. Louisville stopped Carolina's amazing win streak they had going. I believe it was over almost 50 wins they had. And Louisville will be the #1 seed. So they get a bye to the semis, and UNC, unfamiliar position, have to play in the quarterfinals. Karen Shelton Stadium named after her, still the coach there in the North Carolina field hockey program.
The intensity is definitely starting to pick up, Dallin.
How's a 1 o'clock start weird? I mean, guys you don't usually play a lot of 1 o'clock starts. Does that have any effect in this game?
I never liked it. I always loved playing under the lights, as you can imagine. You know, like the striker scoring goals under the lights. But I think for these kids, it's about just getting into a rhythm and growing into the game. And you see Virginia Tech.
Strickler's shot did it come off a hand, but Dover's going to have an opportunity. Pulls it just wide. That initial shot from Strickler looked like it may have come off a hand. There weren't many appeals. Take a look at Quinton. Nope, right off his hip, but falls for Dover.
Hip. And then just flashes it across the box. He was looking for the far corner, but this is where you want that weak side winger to come crashing in to tap it home if it isn't on target. Just misses that far post.
Maris head up, looking to switch the play. And it'll come to Keegan McLaughlin. Chuck, how do you feel the last 15 minutes? Virginia Tech has seemed to find more footing in this match.
Yeah, it actually coincides with Landon Amaris coming into the match. He could tell he's gifted on the ball. He starts the attack. He's confident and in control, and that allows Virginia Tech to have numbers come forward because he can hold up the ball and play in tight spaces.
Ben Jacobello with the yellow card. He'll go into Callan Radosov's book.
And he's just late and catches all of Kinua's foot. Easy yellow card for the ref. It's late. It's a little reckless.
So Jacobello has a yellow, as does Kinua, Mayola Kinua, number 8, Virginia Tech, the guy he fouled. So those two have yellows, as is Mike Brizendine, the coach for Virginia Tech. That may not come into factor again. Strickler to Pereira. Pereira spinning back. Amaris and McDowell could not combine. And Reese Mayer checking in, the sophomore from Baltimore, for top 150 recruit. Comes in for Patrick Coleman, left wing position. Quick throw to McFadden, trying to run on it, but Haugley again reads it well, and Haugley cleaned out McFadden. And Callan Radosov has the card in hand. And it will be issued to the big center back. Maybe, a lot of talk.
That's a long talking to.
Is that a yellow card challenge, though, Chuck?
I've seen it given, and I've also seen the ref let it play. But as this game has gone on, this is yellow card challenge. That's how he's called this game so far.
He did issue it, so the card goes up there for Haugley.
So he's being consistent, which is exactly what you want from the referee.
Again, Notre Dame has scored 4 of their 5 goals this year off set pieces. Patty Burns, the left back, comes forward to whip this in with his left foot. Looking back post. Had Lynn and Meyer back there, but neither of them, or Quentin back there, excuse me. Neither could keep it in play. Burns, Northern Ireland native. He was the U18 national team captain. Scored a goal against the Germany U18 team, which is always impressive to say the least. His brother Bobby plays for Hearts, which is in the Scottish Premier League, one of the better clubs in the Scottish Premier League. Looking long, Strickler battling with Quentin, and Strickler will draw the foul in a dangerous spot now.
And playing Strickler into the channel. You see Strickler, as the game has gone on, has tended to gravitate more towards the center forward position. That's where he's made a name for himself in the ACC. Consistent, he's a consistent attacking player, one that has a great strike, but also the hold-up play.
Pereira curls it in, save McLaughlin. Tough angle to go for goal, but the sophomore did it anyway.
He tried to catch McLaughlin cheating. He just opts for the shot near post. Haugley's there just in case for the flick on.
Played quickly. Bloomler floats it out of play. You're talking Christo Strickler before. 15, Virginia Tech. There you go. The striker. You mentioned this guy has a ton of talent, second-team All-League player, but also in the international stage. He's a full international for the Filipino national team. They found him, came and scouted him. We talked to him a bit about it last year, the opportunity to go and play and represent his country of his family's origin and compete at that level and at that pace has been helped his game tremendously, he thought, and you can see his development over the last couple of years, how much it's benefited him.
Yeah, strength, the speed of play, all of those come in handy when you're talking about coming to play college soccer. He's going to feel like more mature, more ready for the challenge.
More yellows coming out. Okay, this time Michael Pellegrino goes into the book. He's only been on the field for about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. He goes into the book.
Pellegrino comes, and obviously it's Kinua again, and he just runs into him after the ball was already released. You're asking for a yellow card in that scenario.
Turn by Amaris.
I like what I've seen from him down. I think this is a quality player.
There is Amaris. Chuck was just talking about, lays off to Pereira. Kinua gonna give it a shot, curled out, I mean, not headed out by Abelnadi. Yeah, Maris, the freshman from Atlanta United Academy, really has shown quite something here since he's come on the match. He's definitely kind of changed things in that left wing. Strickler on it again in the middle of the pitch, trying to push it forward, turns it over. Swaneveld. Durst. Abelnadi suffers the foul. As mentioned, Virginia Tech just beat Louisville on Friday. And Louisville will finish their season at Notre Dame on Friday. And that'll be a huge game, especially, that's why Virginia Tech needs points in this match, folks. They are 1 point ahead of Louisville right now. And again, the top four make it into the ACC tournament. Virginia Tech is at 4th, Louisville is at 5th. So this game is critical for the Hokies and for Notre Dame, who's only on 6 points. So this is not a lot of separation. And UVA's right there with 7, but Pitt's the only team that's separated with 12 points. But their season's over right now, the regular season, because of COVID issues. Out comes Swaneveld. Chuck, what are your thoughts on Pitt season being essentially canceled until the tournament? How much does that affect the #1 team in the nation?
Well, they're not going to be in a rhythm heading into the ACC tournament. They have an identity, and they have quality, an abundance of quality. And Jay Vinovich has been spectacular organizing this Pittsburgh team. But you can't account for lost time with match fitness. That is something that you're only going to get when you're in this competitive mode. So I think that's where they get lost when you're talking about competing against Clemson and Wake Forest, some of these teams, and UVA, who seems like to me is just starting to find themselves, right? They're a team that it took time for them to kind of grow into this year. But for a team like Pitt, you need to be playing quality matches. So I think that's where I'm looking at Pitt as, man, they're really going to be starting on the back foot, not having played matches in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be quite a long time off for that team that was flying high, lead the ACC in goals. We had tons of talented players offensively, but they will be sitting out. And we'll be sitting out here now because the final 45, first 45 are in the break, 0-0 at the break. Chuck, what are your first thoughts on the first 45?
Notre Dame started strong. Virginia Tech grew into it slowly, and then they look to be on the front foot and have the better of opportunities.
Well, Aiden McFadden is still probably thinking about that opportunity he had early in the half. It was on the 6-yard box. He did not put it in the back of the net, and that's why we stand at 0-0. And we come back here to Alumni Stadium. We'll take a look at where the bracket is right now. The ACC tournament starts in just the middle of November. This is the final week of the season. Where are we at now, and what are the key matches for you to look forward to this week? Welcome back to South Bend. Halftime just wrapping up 0-0 as we get set for the second 45. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff. Callum Radisoff blows his whistle, and we're underway. The second half, and a big game in the North standings of the ACC men's soccer season. This is the final week of the season, regular season, and these two teams currently sit 3rd and 4th in the North region. The top 4 make the ACC tournament. Looking to play it forward. Pereira trying to run onto it. Ahmed Omar combining. All right, Chuck, we're in the deadlock right now. What needs to change for each team to walk out here with 3 points?
Well, for Virginia Tech, be aggressive, be on the front foot. We saw at the end of the first half, they moved the lines higher. They were closing down the space. They weren't allowing time for Notre Dame to dwell on the ball and make the game. And for Notre Dame, the first half, use your wingers. Aiden McFadden would come in, provide service for Jack Lynn, and then Patrick Coleman. He's a up and down north-south winger. Allow him to get into the channels and create space and opportunities like you did early on in the first half. Matthias
Swaneveld collects. Again, this is a young man that played every game in his career up until this year. Got injured, missed the first couple games. This is his 3rd game back, 5th game overall for Virginia Tech. Matt Zambetti did deputize quite well, but Swaneveld now still is the #1 keeper in this club. Nadi, the center back, stepping past Pereira. The freshman Patty Burns, he's looking to play the through ball, didn't come off. It was a good look, but actually, Jack Lynn was offside, they said.
Jack Lynn tried to make that run in behind the center back shoulders. And if it was connected, you would have found him in a great spot. But I think he was also a little too eager because he didn't have that opportunity in the first half. There weren't a number of times where Notre Dame were involved in the build-up and could find him making those runs. in between the lines.
That's the aforementioned Jack Lynn, leading scorer on this team. Led them in scoring last year as well. He was first in points, first in goals. He had 5 game-winning goals, too. Might need that today. 5 game-winning goals, was second in the ACC last season. Mayola Kinua on the ball. Gonna spray it out wide. Kyle McDowell. And Pereira. Blumler. Blacklock is able to get some space on his left foot. Serves it in back post, but overshot everybody. Got a triple header coming your way on Saturday in American football. Liberty taking on Virginia Tech. That starts at noon. Then Pitt versus Florida State. Both teams coming off a bye. And then Louisville and Virginia in our primetime game of the week presented by Geico at 8. Louisville coming off a tough loss at home against Virginia Tech. And then Virginia, how about the win they had over UNC? That was a wild one, 44-41. Fake punts with less than 2 minutes to go in your own end by Bronco Mendenhall. Great coach. Great call by the coach for the Cavs. A gutsy one that came and paid off as North Carolina's furious comeback did not result in any fruit, if you will. Chuck, have you recovered from Cam Newton and the Patriots loss yesterday? You okay?
No, I have
turnover. Don't answer that. Turnover, an opportunity now as he gets in the box. And McLaughlin tried to keep it out from being a corner.
Yeah, I'm still salty, so let's just leave it at that.
Okay, all right. Enough American football talk. Back to the football here. 0-0. Just under 41 minutes to go. An opportunity now for Virginia Tech in a corner after a sloppy turnover in the back. Pereira to take the corner. Kinua came short again. Tech's done a good job of not allowing Notre Dame to have corners. They've been successful in scoring off those throughout this year. Looking for the back post for Haugley. Up goes Quinton. And off comes the line, comes his lines, McLaughlin to hold on to it.
And that's well done by McLaughlin to come out and command the box, be sure of himself. Ooh.
Counter opportunity, and McFadden is cleared out by McDowell. Will this be a card? And yes, Callan Radisov has it in his hand. Kyle McDowell, the junior left back from England, will go into the book.
In McFadden there, and McDowell just doesn't see him. It has the boot high right into the chest of Aiden McFadden. It's a clear foul.
Clear foul, right call for the yellow there in the situation?
Yes, absolutely. It's reckless.
And again, we mentioned it a couple times, but bears repeating. Notre Dame scored 5 goals this year. 4 of them are offset pieces. Another dead ball opportunity here. Aiden McFadden and Patty Burns standing over it. Played it short to Burns. And poor turnover. Could lead to a counter. No, goes out. Hokies will have a throw.
That was clearly something they've been working on in training that they haven't perfected.
That's not how they drew it up. They had one earlier in the year that was a phenomenal corner. Great combination. Jack Lynn put it away. They are creative, Chad Riley and his crew, in terms of how they handle their set pieces. But you got to have creativity and execution, which is not what they had there.
Well, they have some maestros on their coaching staff. Brian Plotkin, who was a standout at Indiana, won a national championship or 2 there, and Chris Rolfe, director of soccer operations.
Former DC United player, as well as other clubs in MLS, I believe.
Chicago Fire, DC.
Opportunity maybe for Strickler. Pass was behind him. Pereira keeps it in though. Pereira trying to get some space, not happening. Dow play the cross in. Opportunity falls for Lobovitz. It's in the back of the net, and the Hokies are up 1-0. He was the hero in their last match. 2 goals they won in Louisville, and he stays hot.
That's 3 goals in 2 games for Jacob Labovitz. And it's Daniel Pereira on the ball, dancing, drawing 2 or 3 defenders. The quick touch out wide is played in, and Labovitz comes back to it, and it's a clean, low strike. He gets over it, great technique, far post, gets on top of it, and guides it home. You see the concentration, gets his feet set, and just drives it nicely into the ground. Well done.
True striker's mentality. Had very little of the ball, very few opportunities at all to touch it in the first half before he subbed out for Khalil Dover. And his first true foray into the match here in the second half, he makes the Fighting Irish pay. A lot of contact, play on. Out to Burns. Can the Irish respond quickly? Floated in back post. Lynn! Right into the arms, but the offside flag was up. Anyway.
But Patty Burns, with a great ball floated to the back post, I think it deceived all of Virginia Tech's back line. They didn't expect him to find that back post, and Jack Lynn looked to be level with Haugley, but we don't have a clear and obvious angle, but it looked to be onside to me.
An opportunity possibly the way for the Hokies to add more. Dribbled through to the 6, but Omar cleared it out. This second half has started way more up and down than the match in general.
And now with this early goal in the second half, Notre Dame are going to be forced to come out, which is going to create more space in behind for Virginia Tech.
Long throw by McDowell, flicked on by Labovitz. Irish able to get it out. One-two, Strickler's on it. And tried to play it out wide to Pereira, but Pereira wasn't making the run.
I would expect Strickler to put that on his right foot and just have a go.
I was surprised to see him pass that. He's their leading goal scorer in this team. 26 goals in his career, folks. I mean, this guy scores goals. He's on it again. Strickler on the ball, pops it out. Blacklock closed down by Patty Burns. Omar's pass picked off. Not in a good spot. Opportunities. Numbers 4. Blacklock can't get there. Good recovery. Back out to Coleman. Pass played out. The pressure from Virginia Tech causing some problems for the Irish, but I think they called a foul now on the ball played out by Abdelnaby.
Yeah, he was hit after he released the ball. Jacob Labovitz doing what most strikers do, try to get a knock in on a defender when you can.
One of your specialties?
I've done it a couple of times.
Good control by Omar to get out of some trouble.
Down, think about it. As a striker, you're getting hit constantly from these bigger center backs. And as soon as they have the chance, you have the chance. They're on the ball. They take a little extra touch, or they waste a little bit of time, and they open themselves up. Of course, you're gonna take the chance to leave a little bit in the challenge.
Ball goes out for a goal kick.
Because you would have been that center back down.
Oh, 100%.
That guy.
I think I would have taken issue with it. That's why I asked. Matthias Swaneveld puts it down. Just to remind you folks, within the North standings here, this game is so critical. The top 4 make it into the ACC tournament. Syracuse has been eliminated. You see Louisville right now is down on 4 points, Tech on 5, Notre Dame on 6. And if Virginia Tech wins, they will leapfrog Notre Dame. Notre Dame plays Louisville, their final match of the season. That will be basically a play-in game Friday. If Louisville can win, they will knock Notre Dame out. So this game is so critical for Notre Dame to get at least a point here to protect themselves a bit, if not 3 if they can come back, which they did against UVA in their last match on October 24th. They were down a goal to nothing, came back 2 goals in the second half to win. But Pereira's now charging in to the attacking half. Here's Strickler, lays it off. Lobovitz, the goal scorer, tees it up, just wide.
Now we know he's capable of finishing from there, but the better option was to play to the feet of Daniel Pereira, who pulled away and was on the left side of the box unmarked, and then you continue a run into the box, so you open yourselves up for the combination play.
And you see Landon Amaris just checked in. Charlie, I know you thought he had a great first half, the freshman, quickly in the second half here.
He did. He can play. He's comfortable playing in tight spaces. That is something that you covet in the college game, because now you know you can depend on him to keep possession. So you can throw numbers forward. You can have outside backs overlap and get to the attack.
Blacklock trying to skip past Burns, and Abdulnadi comes over to usher it out. Good cover by the middle, by the center back.
Patty Burns has done a phenomenal job of locking Nick Blacklock down, just reading where he wants to go, using his body well, and Abdulnadi sliding over to help.
Again, Burns, freshman from Northern Ireland. He was the captain of the the Northern Ireland U18 team.
A team I know very well back in the day. We played the U18 Northern Ireland national team in the final of the Milk Cup. So just a great country. You know, I'm sure he's gotten a chance to play in that Milk Cup, a prestigious world youth tournament. Lovely country.
Ben Giacobello played in that same. Ben Giacobello played in that event, the Milk Cup. I believe they changed the name, but when he's from Clemente, California, and the academy he played for was OC Register, and they went over and played in the Milk Cup when he was in his club days before matriculating to Notre Dame.
Yeah, it is just a phenomenal tournament. You have the clubs around the world, but then you have the elite group, which is international football for these younger kids.
Pereira in a pocket of space. He's got Blacklock wide open and acres of space. Plays it to him. One touch, ball played in. Opportunity. Lobovitz was coming in, but headed out just in the nick of time by Quinton. Great play by the junior from Portland.
And the ball was played in. Delicious ball, but Quinton, 6'5", had to use all of his height to get that one cleared, but well done.
Kanua, penetrating pass. Strickler lays it off for Lobovitz. Can he get out from under his feet? He can't. Durst, the center back. Pereira, good find to Strickler.
And now you see Virginia Tech showing the quality on the ball and the movement, dictating the tempo, creating spaces, trying to find overloads, and then hitting those balls in between the lines.
Great step by Abdulnadi, because it looked like Pereira was going to be in a dangerous spot there. Amaris on the ball. Great passage of play by Tech, but just as I say that, Kanua dispossessed. It looks like Radavoisa is still down, but play on. Jacqueline charging forward. Strickler, the other striker, coming back to defend him.
Great commitment from Christo Strickler to get back and prevent Jacqueline from getting into that final third, forcing him wide.
Radavoisa is up. He played that ball to Burns as Burns goes down the left wing. Gets his cross off, but it goes out back towards the indoor football facility. And all ACC coming your way tonight on the ACC Network, 8 Eastern. I'll be joined by Kelsey Riggs and Mark Herzlich. We'll be breaking down all the games that happened this past weekend. Also looking forward to what will take place this weekend. As I mentioned, the football facility in the background. The game of the season in the ACC. Notre Dame will be hosting Clemson, #1 team in the country, versus #4 Notre Dame. Here from South Bend next Saturday night. We will break that down and get you everything you need to know coming up on All ACC tonight on ACCN at 8 Eastern.
Yeah, that looked like a clear foul to me right there, Dallin. Daniel Pereira getting crushed.
He's down holding his back. You don't want to see that. All ACC freshman team last year, the sophomore, one of the more dynamic midfielders. He's up and he's okay.
Here he is, he's juggling in the midfield. And it looks like he was sandwiched by 2 players, Omar and Pellegrino.
And that's Chris Little, who just checked into the match for Nick Blacklock, playing the right wing. He's right down the top of the 6 there, middle of your picture. A sophomore from Fairfax, Virginia, former top 100 recruit in the nation. His dad, soccer family, dad played soccer at Brown. His brother played at James Madison University. He had the assist on the game-winning goal for Labovitz on Friday night in Louisville. And Cleo Dover's going to come on for Labovitz, the goal scorer. Around the same time that he came in the first half, about 18 minutes for Labovitz there, and about 18 here again. As Dover comes in again, he's scored 1 goal this year. It was against their rival UVA, and what ended up being a 1-1 draw between the Cavs and the Hokies. Durst trying to switch the play. Nicely done. Maris lays it off for Kanua. Smart turn there by Townsend Meyer. The Notre Dame bench enjoyed that, but Virginia Tech's back on the ball. Little. Well played by Burns. Now he gets it up quickly to Jack Lynn. Lynn crowded out. Virginia Tech's controlled this second half for the most part. Charlie, why?
Because they've been able to get numbers forward and the movement off the ball. It's playing quickly, combining, and then finding those gaps. Notre Dame are going to be compact, restrict the middle. So use the wingers, use the outside fullbacks, overload the wings, and that's what they've done. They've used the wide area as well.
That was Charlie Davies talking. I'm Dallin Koff here at Alumni Stadium, South Bend. 1-0. Virginia Tech is up through a second half goal by Jacob Labovitz, who scored now 3 goals in his last 2 matches. His senior striker has the Hokies up 1-0. They could have a road trip where they went to Louisville, went to Notre Dame, and walked out with 6 points. That really is season-changing for them if they can continue on this path and hold on for all 3, but a long way to go here with just under 26 minutes from Alumni Stadium.
And you don't want to give set pieces away to this Notre Dame team.
Set pieces are dangerous. Opportunity coming, flicked on, just wide, and it is out for a goal kick. Lynn saying, I didn't touch it. And set pieces, again, so important for this Notre Dame team.
I mean, all of Notre Dame was saying, hey, that's a corner.
Swaneveld telling his guys to get deep as Notre Dame shows a little bit of pressure. Ben Giacobella just checked in the match again. He came in for Patrick Coleman. Anthony Maris took a tough spill, and he's still down. The Virginia Tech bench didn't appreciate it. A lot of their subs are standing right there. Jacob Lopovitz is in the background. That's the goal scorer.
And that's clean, shoulder to shoulder. Townsend Meyer said, get in the gym.
And get in the fence. That fence is close to the sideline there. Unfortunate for Maris, who went right into it.
Oh, I've played on fields that are even tighter than that, Dallin, and I've been absolutely thrown by some of the bigger center backs in the game.
I can see it's left quite a mark on you. Turned over in the midfield, opportunity. We got 5 black shirts and 4 white ones back, but Notre Dame transitioning back quickly, and Maris on the ball. Freshman flicks it back heel to McDowell, floated into the spot. Canua arriving, or Pereira arriving, he got a piece of it, but not much. Dover, Pereira, shot, save.
The cross in, and Pereira meets it, but just doesn't get enough on it. Abunati clears it, but Pereira, he's also finding his way into the game, figuring out, okay, this is how Notre Dame are going to play me. Good movement, he's playing quicker, and he's getting in more advanced positions.
And Aiden McFadden struggling a little bit. He took a shot there. He's holding his face, and play has been stopped.
And Dallin, I think this is one of the
saying go ahead, Chuck.
I think this is one of the cases for McFadden where he's just constantly thinking about that missed opportunity in the first half. We haven't seen too much of him in the second half. He jumps early, and yes, it's Kyle McDowell's hand that catches his face.
Nothing really in it. Kalen Radosov, he could have, if he wanted to, go look at a review if he wanted to try to penalize for any type of disciplinary reason, but didn't warrant it. And you mentioned Aiden McFadden missing that chance. Mentioned McFadden having a great opportunity in the first half, didn't capitalize. Notre Dame could have been up when they were controlling this game, but now Virginia Tech has really turned the screws and have been the aggressors here, both offensively and defensively. They had quite a few fouls, and they, at one point, Chuck, they were down 4-0 in shots. It's now 9-5. They've really turned the table in terms of being able to create any opportunities.
It just goes to show what a team can do when they finally take the initiative and they want to not play the ball long, keep possession, and move the ball quickly, getting into the advanced final third, the final half, and you swinging the ball from right to left. If Notre Dame are going to stay compact, that is one way to really take the wind out of the game and make Notre Dame chase.
Take a look at that graphic just to show it. Nice job by our team in the truck there. First 17 minutes, 4 shots since 1. So if you're Chad Riley, Chuck, what are you trying to do to change the situation here? As a personnel, can you do things tactically? What would you do different if you were coaching the Irish?
Well, you have to push the lines higher and get Aiden McFadden on the ball, start playing to people's feet. If you get caught into long balls, that's when Virginia Tech have won the second balls and have kept possession. You're not getting into a rhythm, and therefore you're making it very predictable for Virginia Tech to defend.
And McFadden now fouls, still holding his face, but he best got to get back and defend now because it'll be an opportunity for Virginia Tech here over the dead ball. Pereira plays it in just over the head of Haugley, but he was off anyway. Oh, nice touch by Voisa to keep it in play. Looking forward for Dover. Trying to shield the ball, protect it. Does a good job, lays it off to Amaris. Chance to get it reversed, out to Little. Blumler on the overlap. He's got Pereira in the middle, plays Pereira. Crowded out. Jacobello head up. Blumler on it. You can hear Chad Riley yelling, "We've got to get the ball, we've got to press," talking to his Notre Dame team right now. Looking long for Dover. Dover might be able to get there. No, McLaughlin's going to be able to boom it out. Our next men's soccer match here in ACCN, Friday night, Duke and Carolina, 8 Eastern. Huge game between these two rivals. In the beginning of the season, the first matchup, Carolina took down Duke 2-0 on their pitch. Can Duke return the favor? Both these teams jockeying for 3rd and 4th position in the South region. Right now, NC State looks like they will not be making it in the mix at 5th, but these two rivals are battling. 8 Eastern on ACCN. North Carolina, Clemson played a wild 3-3 game of the year, really, Chuck, last week. 3-3 was the final. Crazy game where Carolina was down 2 goals on the road at Clemson. They came back to tie it up. They went up again, the home team, the Tigers, and then Carolina came back again. 6 goals in the final 32 minutes. That was one of the better ones I've seen since we've been doing this here on ACC Network.
I have to agree with you. Both teams came out to play, and we've seen Clemson. When they get a lead at home, teams usually go into a shell. Not this UNC team. The character we saw, the maturity, how they've aged and progressed was inspiring.
Under Mike Noonan, I don't have the stat in front of me right now. I believe it's 101-8-6 when Mike Noonan, the coach of Clemson, they score first. And to be up 2-0 and to falter and not walk away with all 3 points was even more shocking. So to your point, when you get up at Clemson, usually it's lights out, but big testament to what the Tar Heels are all about, to battle back in that game.
And the youth that they have, right? Stepping up and grabbing their opportunity with both hands.
Key White scoring a goal. Other contributions from guys that don't get a lot of minutes. Patty Burns trying to play an early ball in. It'll go out for a corner. And as we mentioned, the corners, this is the first corner of the match for Notre Dame. They are deadly there. They've scored on 3 goals on corners this year out of their 5 total. And McFadden has 3 assists on the year as he's heading to the corner flag, all 3 of them on those corners.
Phil Quinton, 6'5", Muhammad Omar, 6'3". Look for them to come near post and flick it on.
McFadden, nobody home as he was going towards the back post, it seemed. Townsend Meyer. Knocked out, and Blacklock couldn't keep it in play. Blacklock came back in the game earlier. A couple other subs waiting for the Hokies right now, but they are not in possession, so can't make the sub. Abdulnadi. Voisa on the ball now. Plays in the Canadian national team setup, but also trained with the Serbian national team setup. He has a dual passport. Youth teams, these are youth teams obviously, but interesting for him to play at different national team levels. And Burns making the overlapping run, first time cross. That was a great look to get it to him, but
And Aiden McFadden saying, "Hey, to my feet, man, to my feet."
Lobovitz checks in. He is your goal scorer, folks. In the 52nd minute, he put the Hokies up 1-0. He'll come back in for Khalil Dover. as did Kyle Stenzel. He's back in the match for Virginia Tech. And Reese Mayer checked in as well for Michael Pellegrino. Go ahead, Chuck, sorry.
I was going to say, that'll be interesting to see the balance with Virginia Tech. We've seen them dominate possession. Notre Dame are moving their lines high up the field, pressing, chasing the game since they're down a goal. How will they balance? Will they continue to play high? Will they continue to take the time on the ball? Or will they be a little bit more direct, knowing that there will be space in behind Philip Quinton and Abulgadi?
We'll see now space, though, for Kanua in the middle of the pitch. He's got his head up, looking to switch it out to Will Maris, but doesn't get there. And it looks like Philip Quinton is now forward on the ball, the center back. So a little more, might be a little more Route 1 football here for Notre Dame as they put the big center back up there. He might get a cross, and he gets taken out afterwards. No call. Notre Dame upset about that. So Quinton may be playing the role a bit of a target striker up there, Chuck, as they play long balls to him.
Yep, you could call it the Peter Crouch technique, tactical adjustment here. But impressive left-footed cross, just not directed towards anyone. But now they're going to play long balls, look for him to flick on for Jack Lynn, who's going to run off him, Aiden McFadden. That's going to be the game plan, using him up there.
And you see McFadden now tracking back there, usually playing that right wing spot, but they've now changed their tactical approach here as they have to defend a corner now. Nick Blacklock with the corner. Low ball. Right into McFadden's legs.
I remember seeing
the touch.
Nick Blacklock as just a little kid walking around, Philadelphia Union trainings, YSC, him watching our trainings and just seeing how big he's gotten. The kid's got some quality. He just needs to put it all together and be consistent.
Charlie spent some time at the Philadelphia Union at MLS later in his career. That's where Blacklock was, the Union Academy. And as the ball goes out here, we cross past 2:45 in the middle of the day on a Monday. We've got great soccer for you. 1-0 Virginia Tech on the road and up over Notre Dame. We are here at South Bend alongside Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cuff. Big game in the North Region standings. If Virginia Tech could hold on, they would go to Louisville on Friday, then Notre Dame today, and walk off that road trip with 6 points, and that would be huge. Top 4 teams in the North Region make the ACC tournament. They are currently in 4th, so this would be big. Oh, Adavoisa skipping past Bloomer, but Kanua was there to help out his teammate. Maris head up with space. Back to Lobovitz. Tries to get it reversed, and he does. Blacklock. Strickler's in tons of space behind him. Blacklock, great move. He's got an opportunity to get it to Stenzel. Falls to Strickler. First time shot. Save McLaughlin. Rebound. Cleared out.
And Justin Blacklock had been waiting for that move to get someone to bite. He put someone down on the ground. And Strickler gets the rebound, makes good contact, comes through a couple of bodies. McLaughlin did a good job of parrying that wide because his view was obstructed with all those numbers.
Laid off for Kanua. Back on the Hokies again. Continue to apply pressure.
Mike Brisendine's going to be really happy with the way his team has gone about this game. Keeping possession, not forcing it, allowing the space to open off the runs.
Fadden trying to get it out of there, and he does. Played out wide to McDowell. First time cross, Lobovitz gets back to it, one touch, brings it down. Blumler. Strickler on it, retreating. Under 10 minutes to go here. Hokies applying pressure with the 1-0 lead. Stenzel on it. Goes off. That goes off Stenzel for a goal kick.
That was wonderful from Virginia Tech Dallin. They took their time. Now you're bringing your one of your best players back on the field in Daniel Pereira. This has been very encouraging performance for Virginia Tech.
Stenzel gave some good minutes there, giving a breath to Pereira. Falls for Jack Lynn. Quinton, low ball played in. Lynn might have a shot. Played back to McLaughlin. Can't use his back pass, so he shouldn't be able to touch that, correct? And you hear Virginia Tech going nuts right now. You can't play it back with your feet to your keeper, and he can use the first touch with his hands as he did there. I thought he was going to try to play with his head or his chest.
Because that's all he could do.
Big opportunity for Quinton, header. Foul first. Let's take a look at this, Chuck.
He passes it back, and the keeper's like, what do you want me to do with this? He goes up with his hands.
Wow. And you can see all the Virginia Tech players in the back with their hands up wondering what's going on. That should be an indirect free kick from the spot that he touched it.
It should be, correct.
Wow. Notre Dame dodging a bullet. They had generated a chance on the other end. And Radisov's stopping play here for a second. Looks like he's telling the coaching staff and the players to put their make sure they have their masks on the sidelines. Okay, 7:45 to go here. It's been an eventful second half, to say the least. Notre Dame not out of this thing at all. Philip Quinton, the center back, now playing up in a forward position. Just tap that header forward. Goes out of play, though. Well, we have a minute to tell you the cross-country championship was crowned this past week. Well, field hockey's coming up this week. The quarterfinals are on Thursday from Chapel Hill, 2, 4:30, and 7 Eastern. Semifinals Friday at 1:30 and 4, and then the championship Sunday at noon. All matches right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. One of the shocking results of this season in fall sports is UNC is the 2 seed. Louisville beat them as Lobovitz tries to bring it down. Louisville's the 1 seed. They get a bye to the semifinals. So many great field hockey players. You can see it all here on ACCN. Quinton now has an opportunity to play it out to Lynn. He does that. Giacobello and Burns making runs. Lynn trying to get end line. Played out for a corner. And this team, dangerous on corners, gets their second of the match.
Now, on these set pieces, it's really important on the marking that you have a hand on the player you're defending. Don't allow him to run freely into the space.
Burns, low ball played in, doesn't beat the first man in Strickler. Back out to him. First time, he pops it up to Lynn. Kenua went down, or went over his back, and Lynn kind of dove trying to get a call. Artaboisa. Battling but dispossessed. We're under 6 minutes to go. Desperation mounts for the Irish. Landon Amaris checks out for Khalil Dover. More of a striker now, but put in for Dover, who Amaris was playing out wide. And Lynn's going to be called for handball. All right, just to reiterate why this game is important, folks. Again, the top 4 in the North region will play the top 4 in the South region in the ACC tournament. You got to get in that top 4. Virginia Tech was behind Louisville on Thursday. They go to Louisville, they beat them, they leapfrog them. They're now in 4th. They have a chance to now take over 2nd place. They can get ahead of Virginia if they can walk out of 3 points here, and that's who they play in the final game of the season, their rival. And Dover's got the ball, and there's an opportunity here. On the other side, Notre Dame plays Louisville in their next match, and that would be to maintain 4th place. So much on the line here right now. Blacklock on it. And Dover's tackle in, takes out. It's Abdul Nadi.
And there it is. He catches the leg of Abdul Nadi. I don't believe that's a yellow card. I think the referee got it right.
That's just a common foul, and Virginia Tech's back on the ball. They have bossed the second half of this game. Daniel Pereira, one of the best midfielders in the league, finds space. Blacklock trying to spin through some trouble. Radavoisa comes out with the ball, rides a challenge. To Omar. Drills it out to Burns. He's got numbers ahead of him. Poor pass turned over right in the feet of Durst. Floated and looking for that center back, Quentin, who's now playing up there, all 6'5" of them. Number 2 in the middle of your screen. Here Virginia Tech bench yelling, hold it. I don't think Dover's gonna hold it. He's attacking. Cuts it back, spins again. Got an opportunity for Maiola. Kenyua was arriving, but wow, McLaughlin read it nicely. Good work by Dover. Problem is now the transition the other way. Reese Mayer. Back to Abdulnadi. Under 2.5. Lynn tried to bring it down in his chest. Couldn't. Abdulnadi riding the challenge, and he's going to pick it up. The foul. Sound like a broken record, but I'll say it again. 4 of their 5 goals for Notre Dame on set pieces, but they take it quick. Opportunity for Burns, driven in low. Still ping-ponging around in there. A lot of it sends it out to touch. We're under 2 minutes.
And we know that this happened to UVA, the long throw.
Good call, Chuck. Reese Mayer with the long throw. Flicked on by Quentin, nobody there. That was how they won in overtime in their last match. A long throw ended up at the feet of, looked like Aiden McFadden probably could have been credited with the goal. It ended up being credited as an own goal, and that was the goal to put them over the top, a 2-1 win over the Cavs. We're under a minute, and Virginia Tech's got possession. Can they waste some time and hold on to it? Trying to play it up to Dover if he could sit on the corner. That's not going to happen. Abdulnadi looking long. Poor chest control by Quentin leads to a turnover. Good hustle by Meyer, and he's got some room in front. Lobovitz, the goal scorer, defending well. Under 30. Burns goes in late with the foul, and that. Oh no, they called the foul. on Blumler, and they try to play it quick, and Kanua's in front again. Kanua's on a yellow card, 8 and black. Blumler is still down. Blumler, the native from Germany, holding his leg. 20 seconds left. They're going to get a chance to play this in.
He's calling the high foot, and it is. It even catches Patty Burns.
It's a good call, Chuck. You're right. High boot there, so Kalen Radosov was all over it. Backs up the wall. Blacklock and Blumler in it. Aiden McFadden over the ball. Leads this team in assists with 3. Can he put in a great one? Keepers forward. Looking back post. Falls. Shot. Over the net. And that might just do it. Kalen Radosov has stopped the clock here. Nine seconds to go. Virginia Tech is up right now on the precipice of taking 6 points from back-to-back road games in a span of 72 hours. That is a good weekend for Mike Brizendine and his boys. From outside the playoff picture, outside the tournament picture, to possibly in second here. Unless something crazy happens in the next 9 seconds. That's going to do it, Chuck. What are your thoughts on this win by Tech on the road?
An impressive win from Mike Brizendine's boys. Brizendine's had his players take the front foot, engage, and then they finished when they had the opportunity.
Jacob Labovitz, what a weekend for him, folks. He had 2 goals against Louisville, 1 in overtime that was a worldie to give him